Hello, I am now going to go through the activity called Raving Redactionist, which is an activity for jQuery. As usual, I'm just going to go through it step by step, talk about why I might do one thing or another, and I imagine that the best way to use this is to try and follow along and pause me before I tell you the answers. Okay, let's get on with it. So I've got the activity open here. Raving Redactionist. It's about learning how to use jQuery, or rather just kind of doing something with jQuery. And the idea here is that we're going to pretend that the user is some kind of Cold War era information officer who has a document that has redacted passages which are covered in black bars to sort of so there's censorship of secrets. And for some reason, maybe it's Russian hackers, the redactions keep disappearing and revealing the shocking secrets. And the user needs to keep clicking on revealed secrets to hide them again in a sort of Sisyphean struggle against Russian hacking, I suppose. That's a kind of a very narrative idea. So let us begin. If we're going to use jQuery, we are going to want to have a project. We could just start from scratch and make all of the files that we need one by one, but it's probably easier to just download the plain JavaScript project template, which will at least get us kind of starting. So I'm going to download that. There it is, wonderful. I'm going to unzip it. And I'm going to go to my Finder over here. And then here you can see there's the unzipped folder. I'm going to copy that into my activities folder in my repository. Wonderful. And then I'm going to, of course, rename it to Raving Redactionist, which is the name of this. What else am I supposed to do? Renamed. Oh, I've done step one. Amazing. Then I want to open this in Atom, so I'm ready to kind of get some stuff done. Bingo, bongo. And then I should what? Change the title of the project in index.html to something appropriate like haiku generator. That's not appropriate. I will go and fix that after this. I am going to call it something appropriate like Raving Redactionist. No, actually, I'm going to call it Top Secret. Why not? Top Secret Document. There we go. That's very appropriate. That's, I believe, how all top secret documents work. So, wonderful. And because we're talking about jQuery, we need the jQuery library. You can obtain it and put it into your project any way you like, including if you want to download the file and include it. But I'm going to follow my usual practice of using the CDN, the Content Delivery Network. So I'm going to go to code.jquery.com over here. And I'm going to click on the minified version of the latest version of jQuery that exists right now, which is 3.5.1. And I'm going to copy the script tag that they helpfully give to me. And we know that we include library scripts up here in the head of our HTML. So now I'm all set up to use jQuery. I've got that script tag included. Lovely. Back we go. I will close this jQuery window. And then commit the changes to your repository with a commit message. I feel like this is something I'm kind of hopeless at in these examples. No doubt there'll be all of these all of these other commits, and I will just call them other commits with absolutely appalling commitment style, and then I will write a nice message which is like started Raving Redactionist. Redactionist activity. You, I am sure, are far, far better. And, well, I ended up committing all of that stuff in that previous silly commit, so I don't have anything to commit now. Terrible, terrible, terrible behavior with Git. I know you can do better than me. Anyway, we're ready to start working. I'm not going to beat myself too much about that. So what's the plan? All projects apparently are divisible into 4 steps. This is not true. This is just what's happening. First thing, let's set up the HTML, because like really the fundament of these sorts of projects where we're working with a web page is we often need some kind of structure within the HTML to work with. Then we'll do a bit of CSS. In part, the CSS is just for visual appearance, but we'll also be using CSS to make the redacted passages actually be redacted so that you can't see them. And then we'll have the 2 bits of our actual JavaScript using jQuery, which is we need overtime for these redactions to disappear mysteriously due to Russian interference, aka some kind of JavaScript that we write ourselves. And then finally, once that is happening, we will add the ability for the user to kind of re-redact things to begin their Sisyphean struggle against the Russians, as it should be. So let us go step by step. This isn't the world's most complex project, but it's nice and tidy, and you end up with kind of a nice product at the end. So let's relax and just enjoy ourselves. So first of all, we need some HTML content that's going to represent this top secret document that you're working with. I'm going to use Lorem Ipsum for the text because I don't really want to go and find a real top secret document. You could if you wanted to. Maybe you should hack into, I don't know, something and get a top secret document. Don't do that. That's illegal. But you could use anything, right? You can use like Wuthering Heights if you want to. I'm going to use Lorem Ipsum just because it's easy. And then within that, we're going to need a bit of structure in the document to sort of insert our text into. And most importantly, we're going to need span elements to sort of denote where the secret bits of our text are. So let's do that. First of all, let's add a section to the page that's going to contain the overall document. We'll give it an ID of secret document or something like that. That gives us a place to actually contain our document. This is good practice rather than just inserting the secret document directly in the body. So I'm going to create a section tag with an ID of secret document. And I'm going to close the section tag here. What if I do that? Is that going to? No, useless. Okay, so my document will go in here. I'm going to remove this comment because it's completely irrelevant. Okay, add an H2 element to the new section with an impressive heading like top secret. Okay, so this is just so the user has some idea of what's going on. Give a bit of context. Top secret, do not distribute. Something like that, right? Close the H2 there. Now we're in a position where we can actually go and look at this. So let me start the server so we can start paying attention to what's actually happening. Oh, it's already marvelously top secret. And then add a series of 3 paragraphs, p tags, containing Lorem Ipsum text. So I want 3 paragraphs here. So I'm going to quickly make them. Open and close. There's faster ways of doing this. This is not my forte. There we go. There's 3 paragraphs. And in here, I'm going to want to put Lorem Ipsum text. So let's go get some Lorem Ipsum text. There is a generator that I have linked here. As I said, you can also use something else if you want to. This is lipsum.com. And if we scroll down on, oh, look at those ads. If we scroll down on lipsum.com, you can see you could generate Lorem Ipsum down here. I know that I want 3 paragraphs. So I'm going to do that. And here are 3 paragraphs of Lorem Ipsum. So there's the first paragraph. I'm going to copy it. That was Command-C, Control-C, paste it there. Seeing this go off the edge makes me want to go to View, Toggle Soft Wrap. Just means that I can actually see what I'm looking at, which I think is semi-important. Oh. Then I want to just keep doing that, right? Get the second paragraph, paste it in, and go get the third paragraph. Quisque labortus, indeed. So 3 paragraphs of text for our top secret document are now in place. You can go and look at them. I can close this now. Not looking great. That's what CSS is for. Finally, what we need is some secrets. So we're going to add spans around portions of the text, either single or multiple words, and that's the stuff that we're going to say is redacted, the secret, super secret. And we're going to give each of these spans a class of redacted so that we can use CSS to display them as being redacted, okay? So let's go and add those spans. So what is secret in here? Good question. I think this looks, it says eros, so clearly it should be censored. Going to add span, class is redacted. There. And I'm going to close it after the eros, because goodness gracious me, we don't want eros anywhere in our document. I'm going to copy this opening span tag because I don't want to type it over and over again. And now I'm just going to go looking for other things to censor. Maybe blandit udiam can be redacted, and maybe this entire final sentence is worthy of redaction. Good. And then we're just going to keep doing this, right? So I'm also going to redact this Morris business. I'm pretty suspicious of that. And I'm going to censor maybe just one word. That might be a kind of pleasingly mysterious. Do that there. And what else? And then maybe a couple more in here. Not sure about this this Ronkus business. Ronkus Blandit. I don't know why I'm treating it like this is offensive. It's meant to be secret. What sounds secret? This looks extremely secret. Okay. That was a little laborious, but now we've got this document, and this spans around bits of text, specific bits of text, which we know we can target with CSS to change their appearance, and we can target with JavaScript, and in this case with jQuery, in order to manipulate them. Adding these spans, as you know, does not change the appearance of the document until we actually target them with CSS. So they're there, but they're kind of structural right now, and we will use them in a moment. So we've got a Lorem Ipsum website. The HTML is ready for our amazing other stuff that we're going to do. And the most important next thing is to create some CSS that actually makes it look like what we want. And centrally, we kind of want the document to look less crap, and we want to make sure that the redacted elements on the page are actually redacted, that they're actually censored. So the first thing I want to do is select the secret document bit and just style it enough that it looks less terrible, looks more like a secret document. This is completely up to you how you want to do this, but of course we need to use some CSS. I'm just going to delete that comment. And we know that I'm going to target the, what did I call it? Did I just call it secret document? ID is secret document, so hash secret document to style the main kind of body of the document. Clearly all secret documents are in a monospace font. That will help immediately. Let's go look at it. Yep, I mean, that looks much more secret. I would like to give it some margins. I'm going to give it a width of 50 times the view width. That's looking a little better already. And I'm going to set margin to auto so that it goes into the center. And I'm going to set a larger font-based sort of font size of what? 1.5 REM? I don't really want it to go off the page. There we go. That'll do. Okay, well that looks kind of top secret-ish, right? Good enough? Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm okay with what I've done there. So just a few basic CSS properties to make our document appear a little bit more in the spirit of what we're doing, because, you know, visual aesthetics and all other forms of aesthetics are super important in an interactive project to help the user to understand what on earth is going on. So we have something that looks more like a top secret document. Now we want to get to the redaction thing. So we want to have a class. We know there's a redacted class being used in the HTML. We want to style that class. And most importantly, what we want is for the user not to be able to see what is inside those spans. There are different ways of doing this. The way that I suggest we do it is we'll give it a background color of black. Since it's black text on black, it won't be visible. But we'll also make it impossible for the user to select the text, and I'll demonstrate why that's important. So let's select the redacted class, and let's set its background color to black. That's our first piece of redaction. So now it looks like a proper redacted document, right? Like there's bits of this document you can't read. You desperately want to know what they say, or in this case, you desperately want to keep them secret. Now, the problem with that is it's really easy to read them by doing that. You can select the text, and when you select the text, it becomes visible, and you can copy it and do stuff with it. That's not good. That's poor redaction practice. So we need, therefore, to stop the user from selecting redacted texts, and there is a CSS property called userSelect, which, as you can see, controls whether the user can select text. And we can set it to a bunch of things, but if we set it to none, it means that the text is no longer selectable. So I can select this text here, just fine, but I can't select this text inside the redacted area of the span. So there's now no way for me to kind of get hold of this text. It's truly secret, unless I view the source of the web page or something crazy like that. But the Russians will never think of that. So let's let's not worry about that. So we've got successful redaction. Wonderful. Don't know why this is the Russians. I guess it's just because the Russians seem to be hacking everything constantly at the moment, at least in the United States, probably elsewhere. While we're here, although we are not going to use it yet, I just want to do all of the CSS in one time. We're going to need to be able to unredact these texts when the Russians hack them. And rather than just have them be visible, I want them to kind of stand out. So what I want is to have a different CSS class that I can add to these things called revealed, and that will kind of like really highlight, oh my god, there's some secret text here. That will make it easier for the user to see that there's a secret that's been revealed, and it will make everything feel more terrifying. So these are the things I think that we can do. You can completely make up your mind about how to do this, but they should at least be allowed to select the text. It should have a transparent background. We should color the text so that it's like bright red or something, emergency, and then some kind of thing like an underline so you can see it more easily. So let's add that revealed class. Now, this is a moment where you can think like a person who knows CSS. Do I need to set a transparent background? I do not, because if I remove the redacted class and just add this new class, if it doesn't set a background, it's going to be transparent by default. And that's actually true here as well, that it would allow the user to select the text by default. So these aren't actually things I need to style per se. They'll just occur as the natural sort of defaults of any piece of text. So really what I want to do is just make them red and underlined. So let's do that. So the color is going to be red for me. You can choose. And to do an underline, you use the text decoration property. You can do a strike through, line through, an overline. I don't know who ever does overlines, but good for them. Or underline, which is kind of the more typical thing. So we'll set the text decoration to underline. If I go back and look at the document right now, I don't see any of that because nothing is styled with revealed. So if I want to check what that would look like, I do need to go back to the HTML, and let me just change this first one to use the revealed class instead of the redacted. And there you go. You can see it's got cras ut fringula eros. Very, very dodgy stuff going on there. So you can see it's red and underlined, it's selectable, and it has a transparent background as per the defaults that we discussed. Perfect. So I'll redact that again. Lovely. And now we've got all of our CSS in place. We can finally write some JavaScript. Wonderful. So it's working. Now we need the Russians to begin hacking the page. So really the core kind of excitement involved with this page is that it's not static. It's not just going to stay all censored. Over time, the things that are censored are going to become revealed. So to do that, to reveal them, we need to choose a random element. We need to remove the redacted class from it, and we need to add the revealed class to it, and that will make them become revealed. And we need to do that over time. So we need to randomly, every now and then, swap them out. Now, there are different ways that we could do this, other than obviously the fact we're going to do it in our script. I'm going to do it with an interval. So I'm going to have an interval running in my program, and every period of time, whatever we like, say 500 milliseconds, it's going to try and reveal one or more of the secrets on the page. We can imagine this is like a Russian hacking kind of like distributed attack on our document, if you like. So we're going to use set interval, and it's going to call a function called revelation that's going to try and reveal things on the page. We could actually have called it hack or something if we wanted to carry on with this metaphor of ours. So here's our script. I'm not going to worry about this right now. So I want to set an interval. So to do that, I say set interval, as you know. And it's going to call this function that doesn't exist yet called revelation, which is very biblical. And it's going to do so every 500 milliseconds. Those things are flexible. The name is flexible. The period of time is flexible. It's kind of up to you. So that's great, but obviously it's not going to do anything because there is no function called revelation. Remember not to put the parentheses here. That will call the revelation function immediately. You want to tell it the name of the function, not call it. So let us define the revelation function. So first of all, let's just define the function itself. We do that by saying function name of the function, revelation, doesn't take any parameters, and what's it going to do? It's going to go in these curly brackets of ours. What we want to do is we want to select the spans that are redacted. So we're going to select by the class redacted, and we want to call a function on each one of them that's going to try and reveal the secret inside of it. So we know, or we may remember, that in jQuery we can call a function on every member of a selection by using the each method that jQuery provides. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of the things with a class of redacted. At the beginning of the program, that's all of them, right? They've all been redacted. Over time, those some will be redacted and some won't. So each time we do this, it's only going to select the ones that are currently redacted. We're going to use each, which is a jQuery method for calling a function on each thing that gets selected by this. And we're going to call the function called attempt reveal. Yeah, attempt reveal is good because it's not necessarily always going to succeed, this hacking attempt. Again, we provide the name of the function, not without the parentheses. No parentheses, no parentheses, just the name. And then, of course, we're going to need to define the attempt reveal function. So let's also define that. Now, yeah, good. No, I was going to say now something, but yes, attempt reveal is going to be called on each thing that is currently redacted. So define the function. And now we're just going to do the good old randomness thing. So we need to do something random in plain JavaScript. We need to rely on the math.random function. That returns a value between 0 and 1. So let's create a variable called r. I'm going to call it r. And we're going to assign it the result of math.random. So that's going to be a number between 0 and 1. Now, the way that math.random and randomness generally in programming languages works is that it's a uniform distribution, which means that any number is just as likely as any other. So if that number is less than something like 0.1, that will happen 10% of the time. So let's say that's how likely a hack is to succeed. So let's check if the random number is less than 0.1. If r is less than 0.1, then we will consider the hack to have been successful. So we'll say that this particular span or secret got hacked. If it got hacked, how do we respond? Well, we want to take away the redacted class and we want to add the revealed class. We can do this with jQuery, of course. And it's worth remembering, in case you have forgotten, that when you're using each, when you're in a function that was called by each, we can use this to talk about the current element that's being addressed by the each. So we can basically remove the redacted class from this. So we'll select the this, and we will say remove class, and the class we will remove is redacted. And we will also, at the same time, add the class called revealed. Comme ça. And that's it. So every 500 milliseconds, everything that's redacted, the program attempts to reveal by calling attempt reveal on each thing that has the redacted class. And when it's attempting to reveal, it checks a random number, and then 10% of the time, it removes the redacted class and reveals it, which is the equivalent of it getting hacked, right? So let's go and take a look at whether that worked. Be funny if it doesn't. Would it be funny? I wouldn't necessarily think it was funny. Nothing's happening. Let's do the good. Oh, there you go. So on line 3, revelation is not defined. Fair enough. Oh, because I called it relevation. I hope you didn't scream too hard when you saw me make that typo. Revelation. That's how you spell that word. Ah, okay, it's working now. So the hackers are trying to get to our secrets, and it's working, and they're removing the redacted class and replacing it with the revealed class. These two are resisting a little bit thanks to random numbers, but now everything has been revealed. All our secrets are laid bare, and there's nothing we can do about it. So as you might imagine, the final thing we want is I want to be able to click on these revealed secrets and make them hidden again. So let's do that final step. So we need to add user redaction. Now, there's different ways that we can go about what we're going to do. I want to add one more niceness, which is I think it's better if every single one of our secret spans have another class associated with them. Right now, they all just have the class of redacted, but now that the redacted class is kind of contingent because it comes and goes, it would be nice to have another class that they all share so that we can just identify all of the secret bits on the document, right? So what I want to do is I want to add another class to each of these spans that they share that won't change. So I'm going to suggest we add a top secret class to all of them. And the way that we can do that is you just write the two class names separated by a space. So top secret, oh god, top hyphen secret, etc. Now, oh, and I did one. That seems sort of awkward. I'm not going to do that. Well, that's one way to do it. I could do it manually. The better way to do this is with find and replace. So I'm going to open up the little find thing down here at the bottom, and I'm going to find everything that says, what am I going to do? Redacted, like this, which I know matches all of the class specifications, and I'm going to replace them with top secret space redacted. And that will mean that we can add the top secret class to everything that previously just had the redacted class. So I'll click replace all, and then that's gone ahead and added top secret, as you can see here, to all of my classes. Just a nice thing to do. Close the search and replace thing. So now they all share that class. That doesn't change anything because the top secret thing doesn't have a style to speak of. So now, however, we can go ahead and do some of our jQuerying to add user interaction. So at the top of the program, you can do it before or after really the set interval. Let's add a click event listener to all of the top secret elements, all of the things with the class top secret. And when you click, it's going to call a redact function, which is we're going to use to sort of redact them, right? So I'm going to do it up here. I'm going to select everything with the class of top secret. I'm going to add a click listener by saying on and then click, and I'm going to call a function called redact. Then I'm going to need to define that, and I'm going to say function redact event, because it has an event parameter, because it's being called by the click listener. I'm not going to use it, but it is there. And then what do we want to do in the redact function? We want to remove, it's the opposite, right? Remove the revealed class, add the redacted class. So exactly the same thing that we did in reveal, but in reverse. So this dot remove class redacted, so it's no longer redacted. This dot add class revealed. Hey presto. So now we can click on any of the spans and change them from, hey, I did that the wrong way. Remove the class revealed and add the class redacted. Other way around. So anytime I click on any top secret span, it's going to try to remove revealed, even if it's not revealed, and try to add the redacted class, even if it's already there. If it's already there, nothing's going to happen. Nothing untoward is going to happen. So let's go look at that. Oh, lots of stuff's been revealed. Let me start from the beginning. So, nope, click. Oh no, click. Oh god. Oh no, it's getting out of control. This is already a disaster. The Russians are too, okay, up. And you can, oh geez, that was a rough. So you can see how it's working, right? You can see that each time I click on these things, I can get them censored again, and then that interval is just continuously meaning that this is a waste of my time. And yet I keep doing it. I should really stop. But that's it. That's the end of the activity. We've got this nice little interactive experience. I like that it leverages the document nature of a web page. It's simple, but it's effective, like I think some great projects can be. Not that this is a great project, but I think it's a good basis for working from. You can make improvements to the program, of course. This one's so simple, there's not a ton that you could do, but you can always tweak things a little bit. And then there's lots of ideas just listed here in the activity for things that you could do to make this more and more interesting and more like a real Russian hacking attack. So that's it from me. Remember that I look like this. I don't really look like this. And I hope that you had a good time with the Raving Redactionist activity and that you go on to extend it in marvelous ways. See you in the next video.